भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जगन्नाथ बल सूरमाई की जय नरसिंह भगवान की जय पंचतत्व की जय षड गोस्वामी की जय गुरु परंपरा की जय गोपाल नमो विष्णु 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 महाशक्ति. So this verse is from 14th chapter, 6th verse. तत्र सत्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकम् अनामयम् सुखसंज्ञेन भद्राति ज्ञानसंज्ञेन चानघ. तत्र सत्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकम् अनामयम् सुखसंज्ञेन भद्राति ज्ञानसंज्ञेन चानघ. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by sense of happiness and knowledge. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's a wonderful, another beautiful chapter. This is basically three modes of material nature. This chapter is entitled as the three modes of material nature. See, actually, there are five subject matters in Bhagavad Gita. They are Ishvara, Jiva, Karma, Prakriti, and Kala. Ishvara, Jiva, Karma, Prakriti, and Kala. So today's basically talks about the Jiva. So in fact, to understand, to remember what are the five subject matters in Bhagavad Gita, there's a beautiful, very, very nice acronym by which everybody can never forget what are the five subject matters. So you can think about, the plant, P-L-A-N-T, plant. Okay. P is personality of Godhead. P is personality of Godhead, Ishvara. That's the first one. Personality of Godhead, Ishvara, P. Then comes in the plant L, second alphabet. That is living entities. L is living entities, that is Jiva. Then in the plant, the third alphabet is A. A is activities. Activities means karma. So P, personality of Godhead, Ishvara. L, living entities, Jiva. A, activities, karma. And N, P-L-A-N, N is there. N is nature. Nature is Prakriti. N is nature. Nature is Prakriti. And the T, the plant last one, T is time. That is Kala. Time Kala. So if you remember plant, P-L-A-N-T. P for personality of God, Ishvara. L for living entities, Jiva. A is activities, Karma. N, nature, Prakriti. And T, time, Kala. So very simple. So today this will be basically for Jiva, right? In this material mode of three material modes. See the connection between the 13th chapter and the 14th chapter. So in the 13th chapter, he explains how the living entity, that is Purusha, is entangled in the external energy, Prakriti. Why? Why is entangled? Due to his desire for enjoyment. The moment you start desire for enjoyment, you start entangled in the material. And this chapter 14, it explains how the material energy binds the soul through the three modes of material nature. The three modes are goodness, passion, and ignorance. And in fact, the key verse that connects chapter 13 to chapter 14 is 13.22. See, the purport of 13.22, Prabhupada says, see this, he says that this verse is very important for an understanding of how the living entities transmigrate from one body to another. See, it is explained in the second chapter that the living entity is transmigrating from one body to another just as one changes the dress. So this change of dress is because of the attachment to material existence. So as long as one is captivated by this false manifestation, no, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to another. Due to his desire, what is the desire? To lord it over material nature. And because of that, he is put into undesirable circumstances. So the point to understand is, under the influence of the material desire, the living entity is born sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a beast, bird, right, worm, let's say, going on. See, in all cases, the living entity thinks himself to be the master of the circumstances, but still he is under the influence of material nature. Now, how he is put into such different bodies is explained. It is because due to the association with different modes of material nature, sometimes goodness, sometimes passion, sometimes ignorance. So the point to understand is, one has to rise above these three modes, and he has to situate himself in the transitional position, and that is Krishna consciousness. So unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, his material consciousness will always oblige him to transfer from one body to another, because he has material desires. Not only this Janma, time immemorial it is there. So this we have to change this conception, and that change can be effected only by hearing from authoritative sources in the disciplic succession. This best example is Arjuna. He is hearing the signs of God from Krishna. So the living entity, if he submits to this hearing process, then he will lose his this long cherished desire, no, to dominate the material nature, and then gradually and proportionately he will be able to reduce his long desire to dominate, and he slowly comes to this to enjoy the spiritual happiness. See, in a Vedic mantra it is said that as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Personality of God Krishna, he proportionally relishes his eternal blissful life. See, in this chapter, Krishna glorifies the knowledge that he will speak now. Krishna says, by him the mental energy is impregnated with the living entities. See, the eternal living entity connects with the mental energy through conditioning by the three modes of mental nature. See, the modes, no, they bind the pure soul. So one is conditioned by the mode of goodness to happiness. One is conditioned by the mode of passion to fruitive activities. One is conditioned by the mode of ignorance to madness. So the three types of conditioned living entities are happy, active and helpless. Happy is goodness, active is passion, helpless is ignorance. And who is the representative of goodness? Brahmana. The best examples of goodness are, in the middle we can see scientist, philosopher, poet, right? But the point is, they are proud of their knowledge. Why they are proud of their knowledge? Because see, they have a sense of advanced happiness, right? They know everything, no? That binds them and then keeps them in repeated birth and death. So they feel a sort of material happiness because of improved living conditions. They have very lavish conditions, right? So what causes the sense of happiness? Because one is more or less free from sinful reactions. At least that's the reason there. At least some happiness is there. But the destiny is that there is no likelihood of liberation for such, like the scientists and all these things, highly knowledgeable people. But what are the obstacles that are presented by the modes? The obstacles that are presented by the mode of goodness. There is no impetus to take up spiritual life. This is one of the obstacles. You may say, oh, he's already goodness. Prabhuji, how come he will not take up spiritual life? Why? Because he is too happy and satisfied to do what Krishna says. He says, I know everything, right? So, and such people are in the mode of goodness also. It is hard to be humble. Why? Because they have a sense of superiority. And it is hard to learn for them also. Why? Because they think I already know. I have the knowledge. So there is, goodness also this has these obstacles. Then of course passion and ignorance, but we are talking about goodness today. See, Arjuna is addressed here as Anaga. Anaga means sinless. Sinaga. Anaga. The two sins of the mode of goodness are attachment to sukha, happiness, and jnana, knowledge. But Arjuna is not bound by either of these things. In fact, see, it is the attachment to happiness and knowledge. Okay. See, it is attachment to happiness and not happiness and knowledge themselves. Okay. It is attachment to happiness and knowledge that binds the living entity in the mode of goodness. So such attachment, what will happen? It breeds pride. And both attachment and pride are symptoms of the mode of passion and ignorance. See, attachment to jnana causes ajnana, ignorance. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, the difficulty here is that when a living entity is situated in the mode of goodness, he becomes conditioned to feel that he is advanced in knowledge and is better than others. And in this way, he becomes conditioned. See, the word anaga, by which Arjuna is addressed, is significant. Anaga, O sinless one, means that unless one is free from all sinful reactions, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. So one has to become free from all contamination, all sinful activities. Then he can understand. That's why you see we are reading and reading so many times, right? We are not able to, because we are still not completely free from all the sinful activities. Maybe not physically, but mentally also we will be doing it, harming others, and so we have to free from everything. But devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness. This is an encouraging statement. So while one is performing devotional service in the association of devotees in full Krishna consciousness, there are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. So the most important thing one has to surmount is weakness of heart. If you can see in the 15th chapter, weakness of heart. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. So one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Then only you can do that. The second weakness of heart is that one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature. He becomes attached to matter and the possession of matter. I want this, last angle, everything comes up. So the problem of material existence are due to these weaknesses of heart. In fact, in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the first 5 verses describes the process of freeing oneself from these weaknesses of heart. You can go through the 15th chapter 1 to 5. In Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 2nd chapter, where Ajamala was delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. In this chapter, the messengers from Vaikuntha, right, that is the Vishnu Dutas, explain to the Yamadutas the glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Vishnu Dutas said, now impious acts are being performed even in an assembly of devotees. For a person who is not punishable is going to be punished in the assembly of Yamaraj. The mass of people are helpless and must depend upon the government for their safety and security, right? But if the government takes advantage of this to harm the citizens, where will they go? So we see perfectly that Ajamila should not be punished, although you are attempting to take him to Yamaraj for punishment. So Vishnu Dutas are telling to the Yamadutas. See, it was due to Ajamila's glorifying the holy name of the Supreme Lord that he was not punishable. The Vishnu Dutas explained this. They said simply by once chanting the holy name of Narayana, this Brahmana has become free from the reactions of sinful life. He has been freed not only from the sins of this life, but from the sins of many, many thousands of other lives. He has already undergone true atonement for all his sinful actions. So the Vishnu is telling the Yamadutas, if one atones according to the directions of Shastras, one does not actually become free from sinful reactions. Okay, just by reading Shastra. But if one chants the holy name of the Lord, even a glimpse of such chanting can immediately free one from all sins. Chanting the glories of the Lord's holy names awakens all good fortune. So therefore there is no doubt that Ajamila, being completely free from all sinful reactions, should not be punished by Yamaraj. This is the conviction the Vishnudutas have, and they are telling the Yamarajas, Yamadutas. So as they were saying this, Vishnudutas, they released Ajamila from the ropes of the Yamadutas and left for their own abode. Now Brahmana Ajamila, he offered his dandavat to the Vishnudutas. He could understand how fortunate he was to have chanted the holy name of Narayana at the end of his life. He could realize the full significance of this good fortune. So, when he understood thoroughly the discussion between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas, he became a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. And he was lamenting very much for how very sinful he had been. And he was condemning himself again and again. Why he became so sinful? Now, because of his association with the Vishnudutas, Ajamila, his original consciousness was aroused. He gave up everything and went to Haridwar, where he engaged in the devotional service of the Lord without any deviation, always thinking of Krishna. So the Vishnudutas came there, seated Ajamila on a golden throne, and took him away to Vaikuntha Loka. So although the sinful Ajamila, he was calling us son, right? Narayana, Narayana, the holy name of Narayana, Lord Narayana. Even though chanted in the preliminary stage, which is known as Nama Bhasa, he was able to give him liberation. So therefore, one who chants the holy name of the Lord with faith and devotion is certainly exalted. He is protected even in his material conditional life. That is the power of chanting the holy Krishna. See, meditation. To meditate means, what is meditation? We think of just closing our eyes, thinking of something. To meditate means to engage the mind in thinking of the form of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, the activities of the Lord, and the service of the Lord. Meditation does not mean anything impersonal or void. So according to Vedic literature, meditation is always on the form of Vishnu. In the Narasimha Puran, there is a statement about meditation on the form of the Lord. It is said, meditation focusing on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been accepted as transcendental and beyond the experience of material pain and pleasure. By such meditation, even one who is grossly miscreant can be delivered from the sinful reactions of his life. Nectar of Devotion says this. See, in the Vishnu Dharma, there is a statement about meditation on the transcendental qualities of the Lord. It is said that persons who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, constantly engaged, Nityam Bhagavat Sevya, and who remembers the transcendental qualities of the Lord, they become free from all reactions to sinful activities. And after being so cleansed, they become fit to enter the kingdom of God. So no one can enter into the kingdom of God without being freed from all sinful reactions. This is very important. One can avoid sinful reactions simply by remembering the Lord's form, qualities, pastimes, and so on. In the Padma Puran, there is a statement about remembering the activities of the Lord. A person who is always engaged in meditation, the sweet pastimes and wonderful activities of the Lord, surely becomes freed from all mental contamination. That's why when you hear Krishna Katha, right? So wonderful, all the sweet pastimes become freed from all mental contamination. The 45 minutes or 1 hour we hear the Krishna Katha, we don't think of anything else. Completely free now. In some of the Puranas, the evidence is given that if someone is simply meditating on devotional activities, that means he has achieved the desired result. And he has seen face to face the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this connection, there is a story in the Brahma Vaivarta Puran that in the city of Pratishtana Pura in South India, there was once a Brahmana who was not very well to do, but who was nevertheless satisfied in himself, thinking that it was because of his past misdeeds and by the desire of Krishna he did not get sufficient money and opulence. So he was not he was not at all sorry for his poor mental position, and he used to live very peacefully. He was very open-hearted. Sometimes he went to hear Krishna Katha delivered by great souls. At one such meeting, while he was very faithfully hearing about the Vaishnava activities, he was informed that these activities can be performed even by meditation. It means that if a person is unable to actually perform Vaishnava activities physically, he can meditate upon the Vaishnava activities and thereby acquire all of the same results. So he was wondering. Now, because he was not a very well-to-do financially also, no, he decided that he would simply meditate on the grand royal devotional activities. And he began this business. Business means meditation. Sometimes he would take bath in the river Godavari. So he's already meditating, he's not actually going. After taking his bath, he would sit in a secluded place on the bank of the river. And by practicing the yoga exercise of pranayama, the usual breathing exercise, he would concentrate his mind. So these breathing exercises are meant to mechanically fix the mind upon a particular subject. So that is the result of breathing exercises. And also of the different sitting postures of yoga. See, formerly, even quite ordinary persons used to know how to fix the mind upon the remembrance of Krishna. So the Brahmana was doing this. So all this he is doing, going to the Ganges, taking bath. So when he had fixed the form of the Lord in his mind, he began to imagine in his meditations that he was dressing the Lord very nicely in costly clothing, with ornaments, helmets, all the other paraphernalia. Then he offered his respectful obeisances by bowing down before the Lord. After finishing the dressing, he began to imagine that he was cleaning the temple very nicely. After cleansing the temple, he imagined that he had many water jugs made of gold and silver. And he took all those jugs to the river, filled them with the holy water. Not only did he collect water from Godavari, but he collected from Ganges, Yamuna, Narmada, Kaveri. Generally, a Vaishnava, by worshipping the Lord, he collects water from all these rivers by mantra chanting. So this Brahmana, instead of chanting some mantra, he imagined that he was physically securing water from all these rivers in golden and silver water pots. Then he collected all kinds of paraphernalia for worship: flowers, fruits, incense, sandalwood. He collected everything to place before the deity. So all these waters, flowers, scented articles were then very nicely offered to the deities to their satisfaction. Then he offered arati, and with regulative principles, he finished all these activities in the correct worshipping method. See, he would daily execute similar performances as his routine work, meditation and doing everything as the whole process. And he continued to do so for many, many years. Then one day the Brahmana imagined in his meditations that he had prepared some sweet rice with milk and sugar and offered the preparation to the deity. However, he was not very satisfied with the offering because the sweet rice had been just now he was prepared it. It was very hot. See, everything is going in the mind. So this preparation, sweet rice, should not be taken hot. The cooler the sweet rice, the better its taste. So because the sweet rice had been prepared by the Brahmana very recently, he wanted to touch it so that he could know whether it is fit for eating by the Lord. As soon as he touched the sweet rice pot with his finger, he immediately was burnt by the heat of the pot. Everything in the imagination. In this way, his meditation broke. So now when he looked at his finger, he saw that it was burnt. And he was wondering in astonishment how this could have happened. Because he was simply meditating on the touching the hot sweet rice, never he thought that his finger would actually become burnt. So while he was thinking like this, in Vaikuntha, Lord Narayana, seated with the goddess of fortune Lakshmi, began to smile, smile humorously, right? On seeing the smiling of the Lord, Lakshmi is attending the Lord became very curious and asked why he was smiling. The Lord did not reply to her inquisitiveness, right? But instead immediately sent for the Brahmana. An airplane sent from from Vaikuntha immediately brought the Brahmana into Lord Narayana's presence. When the Brahmana was thus present before the Lord, the goddess of fortune, then the Lord explained the whole story to her. Brahmana was then fortunate enough to get an eternal place in Vaikuntha in the association of the Lord and his Lakshmi. This shows how the Lord is all pervading. In spite of his being locally situated in his abode, right? So although the Lord was present in Vaikuntha, he was present also in the heart of the Brahmana when he was meditating on the worshipping process. So we can understand that things offered by the devotees even in meditation are accepted by the Lord, and they help one achieve the desired result. In the 7th chapter, it was said that only one who has become free from all sinful actions, he can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. So one may think that unless he is free from all sinful actions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. So to such doubts, it is said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Krishna, he is automatically freed. Sarvadharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarup papebhyo mokshashami ma shucha. 18.66. So there is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should, without any hesitant, accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender to Krishna. See, the process of surrender to Krishna is described in the Haribhakta Vilasa. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishwaso gopatratve varanam tata atma nikshepa karpanye savidha sharanagatihi. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to devotional service to the Lord. So one may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order. But if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, then all his activities are in vain. So anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. So one should be confident that in all circumstances Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. That's we should have this faith. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will do that. Don't worry about those things. So one should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, at once becomes freed from all contamination of middle nature. See, there are different processes of religion and purificative processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation in mystic yoga system, etc., etc. But one who surrenders to Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. So that simple surrender to Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. So Krishna says to Arjuna, "Oh, sinless one, Anagha." So if we have to be called as Anagha, so we have to follow this process just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then you can also be called by Krishna as Anagha, O sinless one. Grantha Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur, Premanand Hari Hari Bol, Vancha Kalpatarubhascha, Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnava, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Thank you very much, Prabhupada Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord and purify ourselves. If you have any questions, anything to share, you can tell Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, Dandas Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Koti Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu, for this wonderful lecture. Hare Krishna.
Gurudev Vijay. Krishna.